So in this video I'll describe how to make a fast comp. So if you need to check something out or to make a short demo that doesn't have to be too detailed or elaborate, you just want to get a rough idea, you can use this technique to do this very quickly with a lot of different kinds of material. And in this instance I'm just going to use YouTube music simply because it's available to most people. But there are better interfaces for doing this because you'd be able to see the wave. But I'll let you decide what you want to use to do this. So anyways, first thing is you have to set up a multi-output device. So you open up Audio MIDI in the Mac, and that takes you to this screen, and then from here you go to create multiple output device. And so the tricky part is you have to have something like Soundflower, which is basically recording what you hear when you play music. And if you don't have Soundflower, it could be called something else because there's multiple versions of this. Like for instance, I think I Show You Audio Capture was another one. I just happen to stick with this. I've used it for a long time. So there's another one on the Windows side as well. So I'm just showing how to do this on the Mac, and there's of course the equivalent. You can do this on the Windows side. Once we set up a multi-output device, we would choose which devices are going to be used to perform our task. So I have Soundflower set up to basically act as a recording output. And then I have my built-in output so I can actually hear what's happening. And then I also need a screen recording input, or I need a device that's capable of recording the microphone and the Soundflower input. And in this case, the Quicktime has a feature so that you can do both of those, and you don't necessarily have to have a special device for that. But you do need a screen recording output device so you can record what you hear. Alright, and the next thing you have to do is set your system so that it goes to screen recording output for whatever you had chosen. Once you start recording in QuickTime by going to New and then New Screen Recording or New Audio Recording, and then you're prompted with this little dock that shows you the options so you can select screen recording input, which you need to capture your computer's sound. And once that's done, you can then play anything, and it's going to record simultaneously whatever you have going on in your system at the moment. So let's get going here. So I'll choose a random piece. For instance, let's say I want to have the part at around 30 seconds play. So I play that. Once I've captured what I want, I would stop it. Then I would choose a different section. You know, I would have these things in mind previously, or I could scan around and kind of choose on the fly, but it's a little more detailed editing. So I would say, let's say 55 seconds, let's start it. Okay, so that's good. We got a couple of cuts from that. We're still recording in the background. And now let's go back to the album overlay so we can see a bunch of different things. Alright, so then we go over to another album, just for example's sake. And we would choose another piece. So we would start at, let's say, 107. Alright, so now we have various cuts. We've decided, oh, those are masterpieces. That's what I want. So then we would press stop, go into our video editor. And if it's a proper video editor like DaVinci Resolve, it should show you 4 tracks. And the simpler way to do this is just to use Soundflower with no narrative like I'm doing. And so you just have to deal with a stereo track as opposed to 4 tracks. But just for the sake of it, I'm showing how to do both. So anyways, the bottom track would be the music in this case, because that's the way my aggregate device was set up. And the top track is the part where I'm talking. So as an example, I would have chosen like what I want out of this. So that's me speaking, and then here we have the music. So from here, it's simply just a case of cutting where you want the music parts. and lining it up.